Hello everybody, Torx here. Going to be doing a review on the Logitech G402 gaming mouse right here. Now, the reason I got this was simply because my Logitech G500S finally went out on me. It was working, but I think the left click button on it, like it was messed up. Like it would double click when I only clicked once. The Logitechs, they kind of tend to do that in my experience. Hopefully this will not do that in time. But I got this a couple of months ago, and I really like it. Now generally you can get these for anywhere from like 30 to 50 bucks depending on where you go. So if you find it for 30 shipped, that's actually a very good deal. I would take it if you're into this mouse. Now it's going to be kind of a quick review. There's not really a whole lot to say. It's just a really nice mouse for the money. So you have 8 programmable buttons here. You have the left, the right, the middle, regular scroll. And we got these Dpi changers right here. And then we have this button, that button that can be used for just about anything, and then this button right here as well. So those are all the buttons. It's pretty snazzy looking, very fancy. Now it's got like a kind of futuristic, I like the kind of points it has on the buttons right here. It's really cool looking. Bottom of it's pretty awesome. Not that you'll really see it, but oh well. There are no weights in it, so you cannot control the amount of weight you put into the mouse. I personally like the mouse to be pretty much as heavy as possible because when it's really light, the cord kind of tends to fight it. It is a corded mouse, by the way. It is not wireless. It is USB. It's not a braided cable, by the way. So, I don't know. Like, there's a few things I kind of wish they would put. I wish they had a braided cable. I wish they had the, here, let me show you. It's a button that they put on some of their other mouses, or mice, whatever you want to call that. See, this is the old G500S that I have, and it has a braided cable, and then this button right here, it's the hyper scroll. So when you have normal scrolling, and then when you click it, you can go extra fast with it. Like it just goes and goes and goes to click it. They do not have that in this. I found that feature super handy on the other mouse because when I was scrolling through like a really long page or something, I could just scroll through it extremely fast with that feature, but they don't have it on this one. So that's not really the point of this mouse. They advertise this as an FPS mouse. It's supposed to have it's like 1 millisecond response time. It's supposed to be a really fast mouse. I personally don't really notice a difference. I mean, if you do some benchmarking stuff and you're some super serious, gamer person and you actually know all the differences in your mouse, you probably will notice, yes, it's very good. But even for casual use, it's a very good mouse, and it's not that expensive either. Not paying 80 bucks or anything. It's just, $30, $40. It's not too bad. Some may argue that, but whatever. So, in case you don't know what the Dpi Changing is, you can make these buttons do whatever you want, but because you can program them. But in the program, by default, there are 3 DPI settings. That's how fast the cursor moves when you move the mouse. And essentially, it slows down when the bar gets lower like that, and it speeds up like that. I personally don't change that ever. I just keep it at where it is. But you can certainly use it that way. Because in some games, like maybe you get onto a turret or something, and then it kind of slows down your DPI, and you could call it cheating or whatever, but you can actually speed yourself up when you get on the turret. And when you're back to normal, you go down to your middle regular DPI that you're used to. So I have this set to as a reload button for a lot of games. I like to reload with that. And then sometimes I'll have weapon switching buttons as these two right here. So it's very easy to get to. Your thumb naturally touches all 3 buttons easily. You don't have to move your thumb around. They're all right there where your thumb is. It's very comfortable. It's not too easy or too difficult to click with the buttons here. It's very clicky. Yeah, very clicky, yeah. One thing I do kind of like, so these buttons match the same kind of tension, I don't know what you would call that, but they feel the same as these buttons. You can hear it. And then for reference, the G500S. I love this mouse to death, but you can hear there's a regular clicking, and then it's a different feeling. I do like these a lot too, but this is a nice like clicky, mousy feel all around, so it's more consistent, I guess you could say. And it's not a very lightweight mouse. Again, there's no weights in it. I do prefer the heavier ones, but it's not too light either. It's not a super light mouse. It's swift, but it's not, too light to the point where you're fighting it. So I think it will float everybody's boat as far as its weight goes and its feel. Looks really cool again. I love the little Logitech, icon they have right here. Let me turn on the monitor real quick. In the program, the gaming software, the Logitech gaming software, whatever they call it, you can actually set to, if you want this to be breathing, they call it, or how bright you want it to be. Let me pull it up here once my monitor finally turns on. There we go. So you can switch the brightness all the way down. And then you can kind of go somewhere in the middle if you'd like. And there's a nice little ease to it, which is pretty cool. And the breathing effect, I'm going to check that on. You can see it just kind of goes in and out. And then you can go how slowly you want it to do that. But I don't use that, so whatever. I do also like how there's a lighting sleep timer to it as well. On the program right here, it says how long do you want the LED to stay on until it goes out. Like if you're idling, if you're not using the computer at all, I have it set to 15 minutes. I think that's the default. That's checked, so if you don't use this mouse at all in 15 minutes, all the lights on it will turn off, because LEDs over time do actually fade out when they're on forever and ever and ever and ever. Eventually they will fade out, and you will eventually notice it. That happened to my keyboard. I'm going to get a new one eventually, because now the lights aren't not nearly as bright as what they used to be, but that's a really cool feature they added to it as well. Just tiny little simple things like that are really awesome. So if you're used to any of the Logitech gaming mouses, it is, think of it to just be like that. You know, you have the Logitech gaming software. If you download that and then just plug this in, it'll automatically install it. Very fast, very easy to get it going. It's a really cool mouse. I basically have no complaints about it. I do like the kind of rubberized material they use here. It doesn't feel like a cheap chintzy one that's going to tear on you or anything, but it's just rubbery enough so, you know, if your hands are sweaty or whatever, I don't know if you'd be gaming that hard, but it wouldn't slip out of your hands, or it wouldn't be greasy or anything. It's actually a very nice material on the mouse, so it's just a very, very good overall mouse, and it's very good for gaming, obviously, and as well as its initially intended purpose for FPSs. I like the way the scroll feels too. Again, it's a rubberized kind of material on there, but it doesn't slip around or anything. It's not too loose, not too tight. Perfect. Just really cool looking, awesome, well made, affordable mouse that'll probably float just about everyone's boat. Just about any game this will be good for. Again, you can program the buttons to do whatever you want, just about. So yeah, I really am a huge fan of this mouse. It is really awesome. So that's it. I know it's just been a long time since I've done any kind of hardware review. Hopefully I'll be doing more soon. But anyway, that's it. That is the Logitech G402.